We are going to go ahead and get started. We will turn the music back on. We'll have a dance break in about 20-30 minutes. So really excited to see everyone joining today. Tell us where you're from in the chat. I'll go ahead and kick us off, and then I will pass it over to my colleague Daria to be our host, and then we'll introduce our amazing guests today. So, hello everyone. I'm Ragen Dodson. I am the head of marketing here at Nexford University. I'm also the founder of Strategy with Soul, which is a marketing consultancy. I'm really excited to be here today. I'm based out of Indianapolis, Indiana, with one of my favorite people and personalities, Leah V on the call. Really excited. I love her content. And we're actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, one of her clients. So we love what she's done with us. And we were like, let's bring her on so she can spread her knowledge. The world, child. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Daria if you want to introduce yourself and then introduce Leah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Reagan. So I'm Daria. I'm an enrollment advisor here at Nexford. I am based out of Georgia. So for anybody who is in Georgia, please pop it in the chat. I'm excited to be here. I hope you all are excited. We have a lot that we're going to be learning from these two lovely ladies today. I know Reagan already introduced herself, so I'll introduce Leah. She is over Fully Moisturized Studio with over 150 million organic views. She's will work with brands such as Fitbit and Dove, and this is also going to be her first ever paid webinar. So thank you so much, Leah, for joining us today. Give you all some context. Today, we're going to be focusing on how building your brand can help you get paid in the AI era. So please, as we're going through this webinar, don't be afraid. Drop your questions in the chat. We're going to have time for a Q&A. And then also, we need you to watch out in the chat because there's going to be a giveaway as well. So we don't want you to miss out on that. And with that being said, we're actually going to kick off a poll. This is going to be one of our first polls today, just to see where you're at right now. Mai, if you don't mind, you can go ahead and share the first poll. The question is going to be, where are you in your personal brand journey? And you're going to have 4 options. Are you just lurking? You haven't posted anything yet. Hopefully not being a troll. Are you posting sometimes with no real strategy? Are you consistent but not really seeing results yet? Or are you already getting clients and opportunities from what you're doing? You can take some time to answer that poll. All right, we're getting a good amount that are posting sometimes, no real strategy. You're not alone there. I'm guilty of it as well. We're working on it though. By the end of this, we're not going to be saying that. We're going to change it today. All right, let's see. Okay. So not too many have clients and opportunities just yet, but we're going to make that shift by the end of this webinar today.
Leah, you gotta speak to him.
Yes.
Ciao.
Okay.
Well, first of all, thank you before I go off on everybody. Thank you for having me. I very truly appreciate Nexford. We made some great magic together. You guys have been very open to my shenanigans. So appreciate Nexford, appreciate Reagan. Thank you for that beautiful intro. Yes, ciao. I am the queen of visibility. Okay. I've been making money online for about 13 years now. So before the TikToks, for all of that, I was making money on the internet. My big break came from Instagram. I was able to land a book deal through Instagram. I was able to have an amazing modeling career. For the people who don't know on LinkedIn, I was a plus size model and public speaker on Instagram. So I made a lot of money, child, on Instagram. I've been in rooms with Anna Wintour, Lupita Nyong'o. Like, I've been around the world, and it came from branding myself, right? And so now I'm on LinkedIn, making lots of cash, child. We're booked and busy over here and Fully Moisturized. And so let's talk about consistency. That's a really huge thing. You got to be consistent. Okay. A lot of people are fearful of what to post. What I always tell people is to post it anyway, because it's better to post and flop and fail than not post at all. Right. So a lot of times when I have clients come to me, they're like, Leah V, like I post like once a year or once every week, or I haven't posted in 10 years, but I'm not making no money. I said, well, baby girl, baby boy, everybody in between, how are people going to know about you if they don't see you? So that's my first little tidbit. So I'm gonna let y'all talk, but I just want to let everybody see where this is going to go. We have to be consistent, even if we don't know what we're doing, because you will learn through the failing. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but I need y'all to start posting consistently.
Okay.
Love it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Consistency is key, y'all. Consistency is
Period.
key. All right. Okay. Well, I do thank you for going ahead and sharing that tip with us as well. I don't know if y'all have your notebook, but I have a notebook. I came ready today. Okay. We're
ASMR,
taking notes.
ASMR.
I
Okay.
love it. I love that. Okay, all right. So now I do have a few questions for both Leah and Reagan. I know one of our goals here today is just to even highlight how, with your brand, that AI is one thing that can't replicate you, that essentially visibility is going to be your real business strategy. I know you mentioned like how can people know about you if they don't even see you? So I would love to like kick things off with a few questions with for you, Leah, to start off. So this is your first ever paid webinar and it's
Mhm.
with university. Would
Yeah.
you mind just like taking us back a bit on what got you here?
So I don't know. I grew up in Detroit. I didn't have much. Father was not there. Mom was mentally ill. She had lots of children. She was a single mother. And so we had bare minimum, right? I always loved the art of storytelling. That was always something that kept me alive to keep it 100, all right? Just we gotta go there, okay? And so the library was always somewhere that I would go to escape from what was happening, the trauma, the mental illness, the poverty, use stories to keep myself afloat, right? My imagination. And so I knew very early that stories were powerful and that I wanted to be a part of that. During this time, social media was not a thing. It was mailers, it was the internet was just coming up. Like I didn't have internet until I think honestly like maybe 14 or 15. So yes, like I look young, but don't let the face fool you, child. So I grew up in that type of this atmosphere. And so I knew that storytelling was always my base. It took me a long time to feel comfortable with that because as a Black woman, I was told, like, okay, you need to get a real job. You need to just get a real job, like be a nurse, be a nurse. And I was like, well, I don't want to do medical. I want to tell stories. And so I had a lot of pushback from that growing up as a young Black girl from Detroit. And so I stumbled upon Instagram and it was a petty how I stumbled upon Instagram. My friends who were messy at the time, they're like, girl, it's some beef on Instagram. You got to make a profile. I said, beef, put me in. So just so I could see what beef was happening, I started an Instagram page. It quickly became something different because I started to understand what hashtags meant. They don't mean much now. During the time, hashtags meant that you can find other people who were like you. And so I put in plus size, and all these amazing plus size Black women were in New York and in LA making money off of their brands, their personalities, their bodies, their stories. And I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. And that is how my whole brand started of storytelling and branding myself and using authenticity to push whatever I was selling, whatever my narrative was, whatever community I was building. And that has been the pillars of my brand throughout the book deals, throughout the speaking engagements, throughout the international flights and the business class and all the places I've been in, brands I've worked with. It's through authentic storytelling. And that was through the branding.
I love that. And I thank you for showing up, being your authentic self. I think that can just help with being relatable and then even help a lot of others who maybe can relate to your story and just to give them some hope. So thank you so much
Mm.
for sharing that and giving a little bit of history on hashtags. 'Cause I didn't know the full meaning
Yes.
behind it.
Now they're a little bit obsolete. People are not really using tags anymore. That's the old school marketing way, child.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So now I do have a follow-up question for Reagan. So now, from a head of marketing seat, why does a strong personal brand matter more right now in the AI era versus less?
I think personally and selfishly, right? I think that for me, just if I lost my job tomorrow as head of marketing, I'm okay because I've recession proofed myself. I've created not a big of a personal brand as Leah. I strive to get there one day. She's very inspirational for me. But I do have built a network on LinkedIn over the last 5 years and can quickly find clients to be able to pay my mortgage. So I think if you're thinking from like a cash flow perspective, I think that's like one of the biggest things for me is why you got to recession proof right now because every day with AI, it's changing. We hear from corporations that AI is going to bring in more jobs, but right now in the media and the news cycles, we're hearing of layoff after layoff after layoff. And so will it bring more jobs? We really don't know, right? Because it's a ever-changing landscape at the moment. So how do we get prepared for that is do your side hustle. And I don't mean a side hustle that's something that you do not like. Get a side hustle that you enjoy, and or it could be the LinkedIn thing. I will tell you, like, there's been many times on LinkedIn where people have reached out and was like, Ragen, can you post something for our business? And I've been paid like upwards of $1,500. And that was able to fuel my personal brand and my business and things of that nature. Just for, to Leah's point, having an authentic voice. Was born in a blue collar family. We didn't have a lot. There were some Christmases where it was very scarce under the tree. And so I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. And we didn't really understand entrepreneurship in my blue collar family. It was all like, oh, my dad worked at GM for 40 plus years before he retired, and he slaved for 12 to 15 hours a day. And that's where our income come from. And now we have endless opportunities to go out and like build wealth in different areas because of the digital era. And so it's your responsibility to make sure that you're visible and you're making a mark out there in the digital world.
I love that. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let that be a goal for all of us. We're going to be recession proof. I loved how you phrase that. We're going to be recession proof. And I think for like all of us here, at least with us hosting today, like we have that relatability in things may not have happened for the ones that came before us, but we have the responsibility, the duty, and the opportunities to make a pivot and a change for not only our generation, but the ones to come as well. So thank you both for even sharing your background, your stories with us today. So I'm going to go into just a couple more questions that I'll have for the both of you as well. Just going back to you, Leah, I would like to know. So we still have a lot of people right now, they are rolling their eyes at this whole personal brand. What would you say people are probably getting wrong? Like, where is like maybe a misconception that they have there when it comes to the personal branding?
There's so many misconceptions, child. There's so many. How much time y'all got? 2 years. The misconception is what I hear from a lot of my clients, because a lot of my clients are older, right? They're actually over 40, keep it 100. So I don't have like many younger clients. So it's like, I think 38, 40, 50, something like that, right? The biggest misconception is that I don't want to tell all my business. I don't want my business out there. I don't want people judging me. I don't want the shame that comes with it. I don't want my business out there. I want my work or product to speak for itself. And immediately I tell them it is 2026. In the world of TikTok, Twitch, all of the new social media platforms that are coming, will be coming, that is not, the old ways of marketing are obsolete. If you are not a part of your brand, if you are not front facing, it is most likely not going to work. Especially if you are an individual, like a solopreneur or have a small business, you definitely have to use your story to drive it, because products it can be a lip gloss, it can be an eraser. How many erasers are out there? How many lip glosses are out there? Story sells the product. It can be a whole, just like cheap product. It could be a cheap, really cheap product. How do you think these influencers are selling all this cheap ass shit? Keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. They're selling cheap ass shit that falls apart, that fades in the wash, that breaks, the lipstick don't stay on, but they are selling out. Why? Because the branding is just that good. It's called perceived value. So I always teach my clients about perceived value. If I think that something is valuable, it doesn't matter if it costs 2 cents to make. I'm going to spend 2,000 on it. Doesn't matter. We can look around at the politics and what the things that are happening right now about perceived value and how that is, right? So when people start to understand about perceived value and understanding that your product most likely will not sell itself, you've got to drive it. And by you, it's got to be your personal story, right? And then to the effect of, I don't want my business out there, you can curate anything in this world. If there are certain stories you do not want to tell, then you don't have to tell that story. I always tell my clients, you are the empress of your own domain. This is your brand. There's parameters around that. If you do not want to go outside of what that is, you had a traumatic event that you don't want to share. You had an arrest you don't want to share. You don't have to tell your whole business to the world, but you do have to curate a story of how you want your brand to land when you are trying to promote a product or service. Because it doesn't matter if you're selling erasers or selling HR consultancy. The brand is still you. So you can pivot easily. It's like Ragen can pivot if she's like, again, if it's recession proof, I can pivot. If tomorrow I want to sell lip glosses, best believe I can pivot really quickly. So people have to understand it's not about telling all your business. It's not about, oh, I'm 20 years in HR, so that should be enough. It's not. Let's stop with the bullshit. It's not enough anymore. People are not hiring based on skill anymore. It's based on relatability and perceived value. And once people understand those two things, you're going to have a great time branding yourself. You're going to have a great time understanding how to speak to your clientele and as well as your community.
I hope y'all are eating that up because I took some mental notes there. And it even sounds like this may sound cliche, but there's only one you. So when it's your story being told, like that's what's going to help you be unique and make essentially your brand stand out amongst all the others that are out there because it's only one you. Love that. Thank you for that gem right there. Put that in my pocket real quick. Okay, so I also just continue on this conversation. Now, I know just like even in sharing your story, so I know you've been pretty much open, Leah, when it comes to about 18 months ago, you were broke. And now, like you said, you are booked and busy. You have your clients, you're taking trips. What would you say, like what changed for you? Like what brought about that change?
So like I told you before, I went to New York City. The first 6 months, all of my contracts fell through. This is when I literally, because I'm from the Midwest, people know about the Midwest, child. We're not making a lot of money over there. And so New York City is a big change from Detroit. And so I was like, I'm going to make it. I have these contracts. I'm good to go live my best life. Got there, every single contract pulled out, and then COVID hit. I said, wow, that's crazy. So I was just freaking out because I'm like, baby, I can't be in New York City broke. I can't. My book deal money was dwindling. I was like, oh my God, it's expensive in New York City, way more expensive. Well, now it's more expensive, but it was expensive in 2019. And so when that happened, I was like, okay, well, what do I do? What do I do? Luckily, I was able to use, again, the internet and the branding because I'm like, well, everything's shut down. What are we going to use? The internet. We're going to go hard on social media. And so I started to go hard on social media. Dove reached out, Target. I started getting modeling deals, all the things. I made quite a bit of money actually during the pandemic, actually. So people were struggling. I actually was not. The money was flowing, child. So then 2023 hit and the job started to slow down because Instagram's algorithm changes, which again is about the AI and the algorithm, right? They always are ever changing. You are on a YouTube making lots of money. That might not be the same next year. If you're on LinkedIn making money, that might not be the same next year because AI and the tech is ever changing. And so you can never put all your eggs, like Ragen said, you can't put all your eggs in one basket because you just never know when the algorithm will change. So the algorithm changed up on me. My money started to dwindle and I had to move from New York City. The lowest I made in 2024 after partying, flying out, getting flown out business class was $22,000. I said, this is below poverty level. I was going making 7 figures to 22. And for that year was very rough for me, like mentally, physically. I had to go back home, child. Had my tail between my legs. And then my friends were like, you got this. You have the skills. You have the skills. Do what you did on Instagram and do it on LinkedIn. And I'm like, they're not going to want that on LinkedIn. They're boring. They're beige. They're not going to understand my humor. They're lame. It's button up, child. I can't be on no LinkedIn. Okay. And I was just like, got on LinkedIn because I was desperate. I tried to be like everybody else, fail, flop, fail, 0 impressions. And one day I just got a little spicy. I made a spicy post. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. I made a post, not like crazy spicy, just a post that I was me. I said, I'm gonna be Leah V because I'm mad at the internet right now. I'm mad. I made $22,000. I'm mad that I'm broke and I have a double master's degree. Nobody's hiring me. I'm upset. So I made a post that was super spicy about how something about Black women and the political stuff that was going on. The post flew off the handle. I think I called somebody ashy and the post flew off. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Y'all like personality on LinkedIn? Y'all like real? And that was when I started to get more, I started beta testing different forms of content on LinkedIn. So what is flopping, what is not flopping. And then I started to get a lot of impressions and people started inboxing me, hey, see you popping off. Do you sell a strategy on like branding? And I'm like, I do now. In 48 hours, I created a framework strategy and I sold it for $800. And that was my first client.
Right. Ooh.
That was my first client. And I had a Black woman tell me that 800 wasn't enough. So I then started doubling and tripling my prices, scared as hell. And then I got a retainer client and I got another retainer client and then another retainer client, speaking engagement, sponsorships. And so I've made quite a bit of money over the last 18 months on LinkedIn because I went against the grain and started to be myself instead of trying to be somebody that I wasn't, which is like a bland, beige, raisin fields LinkedIn brand. So that's how we got there, child.
What about the lizard? Where'd the lizard come from?
Oh, so me and my friend have like these funny outros. Some of them are very ridiculous, and I can't say them here because they're ridiculous, right? So the least ridiculous ones that I can put on the internet without getting banned or shadow banned was skittering away like a lizard. And so we had said that a couple of times. I've said it to her. I'm just like, oh, rolls away like a blueberry, skitter like a lizard. And I was like, let me play with like outros. And I think a lizard skittering is the funniest visual ever. It's just funny as fuck, right? It's funny as hell. And so I did it, and people were like, "Oh my god, that's so hilarious! She's skittering away." I'm like a black woman skittering away like a lizard after like dropping just like a bunch of ton of ridiculousness, and people started to catch on to it. I'm like, "Oh, this is a thing." So I even got a lizard tattoo because LinkedIn made me get a lizard tattoo. So I got a lizard tattoo after 2 years of them, like a year of them begging me to get a lizard tattoo. I finally got my lizard tattoo. So thank you, LinkedIn, and it became a thing. So people, I just like to say things and see if it sticks, and that one stuck. So
I
that's
love
what that
that.
is.
Now, did LinkedIn cover the tattoo for you?
Well, with the money that I made, yes, child. They cover everything.
Yeah, yeah.
They cover
I
everything.
love it.
This
Oh
apartment.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're blowing my mind right now, and I'm hit dog hollering too because I was like, oh, I'm gonna focus on TikTok. That's where I'm booming, and then there was a shift from TikTok. Now Instagram's like, oh heck. So I'm seeing now we need to go check out LinkedIn because
Yes,
we okay.
LinkedIn. That's where the
Okay,
money makers is at.
that's where.
They said I have money to spend. I say I'm taking
Okay, noted. I love it. Okay.
it.
All right, so now, okay, pivoting over real quick over to Reagan. Same question for you when it comes to just like where you are now. What would you say, like, what helped change? What was that moment for you?
Like in terms of building my brand on LinkedIn and then just not giving a shit what people thought about me because I really don't care.
Period.
There's one thing about me, and if my friends are on here, they can attest, but I do not, I've said this before in other webinars, but I do not code switch corporate America. I never have. And the reason for that is it's just too exhausting. Like, come on. It's so tiring. I don't have it in me. And so I figured there's so many corporations out there, but there's only one Reagan. And if you don't like me, I don't want to work with you anyway. Period.
Yeah.
I don't want to accept that money from you anyway. And so I've never code switched, but what that what that has done is I've been fired before for speaking out against injustices because I don't like injustice. Even if you are signing my paycheck, I don't like an injustice. And so have still been traumatic no matter how of a hard shell that I have. With that being said, there's just one day where I was just so frustrated. Similar to Leah, I was frustrated with the injustices of corporate America, and I just told my story. I just flat out told my story about an instance that I had with a particular manager that there was microaggressions and micro invalidations that I had experienced as a Black woman. And I knew I was doing a great job. I knew it. That's not me being boastful or egotistical, but I was running circles around them, right? And so it pissed me off. And I went to LinkedIn about it and it blew up. And I'm like, and I have people in my comments or DM saying, oh my gosh, like you really helped me. Like I went through a similar experience and I like thank you for using your voice. And this has happened several times. It's brought me deals, it's brought me clients, it's brought me Nexford, it's brought me Leah said money on LinkedIn. But I think what's really priceless for me is like helping other women find their unique voice and like standing up to corporate America. So I think that's why I continue to use my authentic voice on LinkedIn.
And
And
I can attest to that from the moment I've met you. I've always been yourself. There is no switching up. And I think that's one thing that I really do admire about you. Just a little history about me. I grew up as a pastor's daughter, so it comes with a lot of stuff where we have to carry ourselves a certain way. And even relating to I started standing up for some injustices at an old workspace and just calling some things out from management, people on the team. And though it led to them incorporating things into their training to educate others, I still got let go. But that created a fear of still showing up completely as me instead of just taking a note from you on just knowing who you are, being who you are. The right ones will value that. So I thank you for being you, Reagan. We love it.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay, so I feel like you both already really answered this last question that I had. If you want to add a little bit more, feel free. Last question that I have for this moment is just when it comes to how everyone is using AI now in like one sentence, one line, what is one thing that AI cannot fake for you? You can
Leah.
take it off early.
So I made a post, I'll be talking for people who follow me, they know I'm ridiculous. I had a discovery call and I gave her the spiel, asked her what she wanted in life, how she wanted. She booked me. I did not find this woman, right? And at the end of the call, she said, why should I hire you versus just using AI? I said, ma'am, so we're not going to do this. What we're not going to do. Do not ever do that. I said, here's what I want you to do. I'm not even going to take your money because it's not even worth it. I'm not going to explain to you anything because you just asked the most craziest question ever in life. I said, use AI for your branding for 6 months and then let me know how that works. Use AI for your branding in 6 months and let me know how that works. I'm very confident it ain't going to do what I do. So what AI can do is many things, right? So I use AI. I'm sure Ragen uses AI. Everybody uses AI now, right? But I use it as a tool, not a personality trait. So we're not going to copy paste because AI will never do a human. Now, it can simplify processes. It can do certain things. Now we're figuring out that I'd be lying confidently.
It does.
Okay. And so now people are like, well, why should I hire you versus AI? Well, first of all, I'm not lying to you about the data that I have. I'm not confidently lying about data like AI is. I'm also not copying and pasting. Also, you're getting a shit ton of culture. You're getting all my influencer marketing that I've done. You're getting all the people that I've ever talked to. You're getting 2 master's degrees. You're getting how I travel the world. You're getting beta tested strategy that I use for my own brand. And numbers don't lie, not on my end. I've went viral several times. I've gotten probably over 900 million. I've lost count at this point. This is not including the numbers that I've gotten for clients. So don't ever talk to me about, oh, why can't I use AI? Use AI, babes, and let me know how that works for you. AI can't give you that human touch. It cannot give you that human sauce. The sauce I have, another human being don't even have the sauce that I got, baby. So I know AI not gonna give you the sauce. And that sauce and that seasoning is how I make brands unmissable, how I make my own brand unmissable. I always tell clients, Google me, babes. Google me. I am everywhere. I've been everywhere. I've done everything. I have books out here. I've done keynotes. I've been on billboards, baby. AI could never. So don't ever. So anybody who wants to hire me and book a discovery call, if you say, "Well, what about AI?" I will cuss you out.
And that's how you build a brand in the AI era.
Just get cussed out. But no, but definitely, I do think that AI is here to stay. Let's keep it 100. Just like the internet. AI is not going nowhere, you guys. So everybody in the chat, I want you to. It's never going anywhere. It's going to evolve, and the governance hopefully will be more governance, just like the internet, the World Wide Web, when that came out in the 90s, whatever came out. We need to be able to use it. We cannot be anti-AI right now because that's just not how this works. So use AI to simplify your processes, get your thoughts together, build out things, but you have to put your human seasonings on top of it for it to truly sing. And I see too much copy and pasting. I know Reagan inside, I know Daria inside. Everyone's copy and pasting on LinkedIn right now. And everybody is now they have the AI slot button. Now people are unfollowing people. They're scrolling past because you done copy and pasted AI. So if you're going to use AI, use it responsibly and learn it. Learn how it can help you in your business and your brand.
I love it. We need to highlight that. When we share this, we need to clip that. AI can't replicate your sauce, okay? So
ain't no seasonings in AI.
There's not. Well, I beg to differ because I've trained mine to
make it spicy.
You trained it, a human.
Oh, okay.
It didn't come saucy, baby. You added the sauce.
Yes, okay, I did. It took me several years to get it to where, for sure. Daria, should we do a dance break after that?
I think so. I think this is a good time to go ahead and have a little dance break for a minute.
I need everyone, even though we're virtual, we're dancing.
Okay. Do we stand up or we just dance?
This virtual space, we all gonna be looking like we dancing off key.
I don't know. Is this what you were doing in Miami, Leah?
I was doing professional twerk. I was the unprofessional twerk.
So you can go ahead and start answering the question. The question is, how do you feel about AI and your career right now? And your 4 options are going to be you're excited, already using it, you're curious, but not sure where to start, you're nervous it'll replace you, or honestly overwhelmed by all of it. And so far, okay, we have a lot of people, 87% excited and already using it.
Okay.
Second would be
copy and pasting.
Did y'all hear that? We not copy and pasting.
Child. Y'all gotta stop the copy and paste. I need y'all to stop, please.
Yes. Let's see. That's the Less than, okay, now 78%. Still excited. We have a couple nervous that it'll replace them and a few that are curious, but they're not sure where to start. About 17% are curious and not sure where to start. Okay, so that's good feedback just to get an idea where everyone is. If you haven't answered, feel free to go ahead and answer that. We're going to go just back into some more questions for Leah and Ragen. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, it's not changing too much. I think I'll say that's the final verdict. We'll make that executive decision that a lot are excited and ready to use AI. All right. So now this is a time to get a little bit more tactical. This is about, again, helping others with building up their brands where they can actually get paid. And essentially they can also just become an AI translator. So within this, Leah, I will kick off another question to you. All right. So, all right, my first question will be, so with someone who is here in the room, virtual room, maybe they don't really have a lot of followers, what would you say would probably be the next move that they should be making this week or even today?
Okay, right now. Yeah. So I had a woman who was in my comment section. As you guys know, if you guys go through my LinkedIn, you'll see a lot of people discussing things in the comment section, just very much so wanting pointers because everybody can't afford me, which is I'm not in everybody's budget, child. And that's fine. But she was saying, like, I was telling her, like, she was like, oh, I'm not getting a lot of traction on LinkedIn. I post consistently, I'm not getting a lot of traction. I said, well, babe, it sounds like you need a strategy because you're posting consistently and you're still not getting what you want from it, whether it's community building or brand recognition or sales of a product or service. That's a problem, right? Because that's what everybody wants to post for. They want something from it, right? And the next comment was, and it was really late at night and I was about to go to sleep. The next comment was, oh, well, I don't know what to do. And that like made me a little bit upset because that's not a good enough reason to not do something. Okay. Because we all started with, I don't know what to do. Right. We've all started when you were a baby, you needed to walk. The baby's like, well, I don't know what to do. Right. But they figured it out. They figured it out. Right. And so right now, with the way job market is, with the way budgets are being slashed, with layoffs and ghost jobs, I don't know what to do is not a good enough answer. So she's like, well, I can't afford you. I said, baby, you don't have to afford me. This is what I need you to do. I need you to go find 20 LinkedIn brands. Maybe half are similar to yours, half are just brands that you think are popping off, are doing really good, brands you admire. I need you to study every single one of their posts, from the hook to the body to the CTA to the links to the imagery they use. Are they copy pasting AI? Is it conversational? Is they showing pictures of the kids? I need you to study them like your life depended on it. I need you to use Google because she is free. I need you to Google. I need to go to the library where the books are free. I need you to look at marketing books, social media books. There's some free classes at your community college or your baby. I don't know. It's not enough. If you are in the hole, you're hungry or you're not. I cannot give you, okay? I can't feed you. What I can do is I can give you some things to simmer on, but I can't make you want it. And I tell my clients that too. You want it or you don't. You get it or you don't. There's no in between in 2026 in the world of AI. Okay. So what I tell people all the time is you don't have to have a shit ton of money and hire a marketing agency like mine or Ragen's, right? If you got it, that will of course be a lot easier than going to the library, looking at YouTube videos, studying posts and lurking and failing. Yes, that's going to take you some time. This is not overnight. But if you don't have it, go and get it. It's the have and have nots right now. And we can see that in the market. So I have to be I'm tough on all my clients. Like Ragen, I don't code switch. I have CEO and founder clients. And I talk to them how I'm talking to y'all. I talk to them the same way. They're like, oh, I'm a part, baby, and you hired me to tell you the truth. So we're gonna do that. Or you can go hire somebody else. I'm booked out already and I'm busy and I'm tired. But yes, that's the advice that I would give to people. And I think that is going to, again, I charge people for this information. Okay. So what I'm putting down, I need you guys to take notes and start doing it right now. Because we're almost in Q4, if not in Q4. I need y'all to do it right now. That's wonderful. That is free. So that's the advice I would give people who don't have, people who even have a lot of followers. You guys can do the same thing. This is not just people who don't have followers. This is for everybody.
Right.
That's what that's the advice that I would give. That's extremely helpful for people who want to start.
I love it. So make sure y'all are studying, taking these notes. Free game right here. There's too much information out there for you to not know anymore. So take that note right there. Okay, so then another question that I would have. So this this is for those who are afraid that AI will flatten their voice. So how will you say like someone should be able to use AI without it sounding like everyone else out there? And I feel like y'all touched on this a little bit earlier as well.
Ragen, you
Don't
want to
just take the first answer from it either. Like Leah said, she built a framework, right? So that's what I would say.
I would say as well too. You have to play with it, ask it questions, give it prompts. Like I give mine specific prompts. Like I like tone. I also have an MFA in creative writing. So even prior to AI, I was writing my own stuff. Okay, so I was a creative writer before.
Yeah.
You have to give it specific prompts. Just say like, "Oh, ChatGPT, give me a LinkedIn post about HR." That's not enough. It's going to give you the most blandest raisin field, no seasoning, no seasoning post, and that's what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing. Like, am I lying? Absolutely not. And so you have to give it certain prompts. Give it to me spicy. Give it to me mean. I love using the mean one. ChatGPT, give me the meanest hook you can muster up. Give me something mean. They give me something mean and spicy, and I go ahead and put the Leah V seasonings on the child. But you have to give it prompts. If you want it to be heartfelt, give it heartfelt. You want it to be funny, give it funny. And then you take the best, and then you go ahead and edit it to your brand tone, because you got to have a brand tone as well, right? Like how I write is how I talk. So people be like, oh my God, when they get on meetings with me, they're like, oh my God, like you sound just like your posts. And that is powerful, and it was by design, right? And so I feel so good when people say that to me, because like that it truly means that my personal brand tone has literally infused itself into my online brand persona and my copy, which is phenomenal. And I hope other brands do the same thing.
They have to, or they're not going to stand out, whether you're a company or a solopreneur, right?
Exactly.
So it sounds like you really have to build a relationship with the tool, essentially.
You do.
You guys know it. I know you pretty much.
That's what I was getting ready to say. People think I'm crazy because I will literally voice note my AI. Like I will. I wrote a whole book about my life in about like 4 to 6 months because I just talked to it. And that's how we got to no, like it's weird because it's like a robot, but at the end of the day, I need it to work for me, not against me. So of course, I'm talking to it. We have full-blown discussions. I even upload my therapy notes into my ChatGPT just so it can understand what I'm working through with my therapist on a week-to-week basis. And so with that being said, don't be afraid to cuss at it either, because I do cuss at mine.
Well, I don't know if you've seen iRobot, but I don't cuss at mine because I don't want it to, if something was to pop off.
Don't be upset with me.
In the year 2050, I don't want no ChatGPT coming from me. So I don't cuss mine out. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Like at your door, Ragen, open up the door. Absolutely not. Remember you cussed me out in 2026? No, ma'am.
Because it won't forget. It's going to put a receipt. So
see, Ragen playing games with the AI. She's playing games with it.
Well, it works for now. And I will tell you that it does work, and it will help you understand. Like you should really work with that at first and see like what, like Leah said, what pops off, what gets you the most impressions. If you want to be a thought leader on LinkedIn and things of that nature, brainstorm with it. What I also do with my AI is like especially when I'm writing, I'm like, ask me questions back. Ask me questions back, because I could be missing something, right? Instead of just telling it what to do, we collaborate. That's another good way.
Write that down.
Collaborate. Okay. We don't try to do that.
I wasn't doing that, child. Let me write that down.
Noted.
Not us learning. We learning with y'all.
I told you I came ready. Notepad in hand. So, all right, now Ragen, I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
All right, so you already know here at Nexford, we talk about being an AI translator, and with that, we're basically turning AI into real results without even having to be an engineer. So could you maybe talk a little bit more to that, like in terms of like, what does that mean? I know when I connect with some students, they're like, what is an AI translator? So could you maybe like talk a little bit more about like, what does that mean? And like, how does this even map to like what Lee has been describing as well?
So at Nexford, so obviously we are a university online, and we have a global learner base all over the world. So you can be sitting in Ghana and get your 100% online accredited degree, master's or bachelor's degree in AI. It's really cool without going into student loan debt. So that is what we are all about. If you're new to Nexford University, we come up with a concept called AI Translator last quarter because we wanted to really introduce to the market at like what learners are we building for the workforce. We work alongside a lot of companies to build our curriculum. And right now, all of these companies are like, they weren't able to put a name on it, right? But we want these people that are like in the middle of technical and business, right? Able to speak about AI in both languages essentially in the business. And so we call these people the AI translators. So Daria is recruiting these future AI translators. We actually just graduated hundreds of AI translators last week in Washington, D.C. So they will be joining the workforce as AI translators. And so that's really important to understand. Like, this is what the companies are hiring for, is the AI translator. They just don't really know what that name is. And so I think that hopefully that answers your question, Daria.
I think it does answer pretty good. Honestly, I know you all I think Mike can even share that you all created a free AI translator assessment. I know I did. I completed it and I scored pretty high. It said I was an AI translator already. So I was surprised. But I think that if you haven't already, you should definitely check out. Yep, it is already in the chat. Take some time to do that. Not right now because we're here, but after the webinar, take some time to do that assessment. See what you score. It does give you some good feedback in terms of like what everything means as well. And if you can find a way to use it today, this week, don't wait. Don't just take it and not do anything with it. Be able to incorporate it into building your brand.
And
So now,
probably
okay.
move to Q&A. Should we move to Q&A for?
Actually, I saw one that was actually in that. They didn't put it where it's supposed to be, but I actually want to answer this one because it's
Yeah,
actually a really good question. So, question for
yeah.
the panel from Heather Sale: how do you find a balance between a day job while also building your brand? This is actually a really, really good question because you have to understand when you're building a brand, you have to understand that this is going to take some time. Okay, this is not a 30-day. You're going to build a brand and go viral, and you're going to be good to go. People who go viral, most of them don't make money. Let's keep it 100. And the 0.111 or 0.0000007 that do go viral, their lives change. It's a very small percentage of people online. So you will probably not be that person. So if you're not going to be that person, that doesn't mean that you cannot still build a brand with like a smaller following, right? People got kids, people are caregivers, people are trying to exercise, trying to date. They might have some things going on health wise, and branding yourself is not an easy feat, right? And so I'm just going to tell y'all 100% of how much time it takes me to brand myself per week, not including the other companies that I brand. For me, I just calculated it last night. It takes me 17 hours per week to do my own brand. Okay.
Wow.
So I spend quite a bit of time on my brand because I like money and I like visibility. So this is from start to finish, finding the graphics, talking in the DMs, commenting strategy, all the things that I do is 17 hours. So that's a lot of hours for people. That's literally a part-time job, right? If you don't know if you're doing, you might be spending upwards of 25 hours, which is why people hire me because I cut down the time they spend, right? And so what I tell people to do is, because this is a long game, it's not a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day thing. This is like a 12-month plus thing. I tell them start small. So you're like, what? I don't really know what I'm doing, but I want to research stuff like that. So let me just dedicate 2 hours per week. Let's see how many posts I can get in 2 hours. Let's see what type of copy I can get or what type of things I can research in that 2 hours. And maybe you're not even posting anything. You're just researching in those 2 hours per week. So I would say to start small and then work your way up. So in 30 days, if you can dedicate 2 hours per week for either researching or actually creating content, then do that. And then you start getting comfortable. Maybe for month 2, you're like, okay, let me do 3 hours a week. And then see if you can do that for 30 days straight, doing 3 hours a week and dedicating it to branding. And then maybe by month 3, you're like, oh my God, let me do 4 hours a week, right? So start small. Don't think you have to be like me, who's a psycho, and do 17 hours a week. You don't have to do that because it's about sustainability. If you go hard 17 hours a week for 2 months and then you fall off for 3 months, you have to start over again. So I always tell my clients, start small, start little, 2 hours a week. You have 2 hours a week. Everybody got 2 hours a week. Whether you have 5 kids, no kids, whatever you do, your job is 60 hours, you have 2 hours to do this. So start small, and that is how people balance having a brand and a full-time job or a full-time caregiving job or other things that they have going on in life. So that's how I would answer that question.
Love that.
I think we have some more questions as well, but I did have a follow-up question for you too. So, like, when it comes to like social media, would you say like even in the 2 hours a week, would it be wise to maybe use that time to study and maybe even batch content? Like, if you're not going to be releasing in that first one, batch up things so that the transition into posting will be a little bit more consistent.
So we do batching when I work with clients. We do batching. But the problem is that when people who don't know what they're doing batch, they don't post it at all. So there's like, oh, I batched like 3 months worth of content. Okay, so why you didn't post none? So don't use, if you're gonna batch, do not use it as a tool to not post the content. Because I've had many clients come to me like, oh, it's content. I said, where is it? Where is it on your page? Oh, I didn't post it. So you can batch all you want to, but make sure that content is being posted that week, not the next week. If you're batching on Monday, right, or you're batching over the weekend because you might have a job, if you're batching over the weekend, I need that to be posted on Monday. It needs to be automated throughout the week. Okay. Don't sit on content because your content sitting in your Google Doc or your Word doc, that's not helping you or your brand. No one sees you, no one knows you. You need to get out there, whether it's typos in it, whether the graphics crazy, whether you don't know what you're doing or not, post it anyway. You'll learn whether the post flops or flies. You're going to learn something from that post. So post and be consistent and understand that if any branding strategist or marketing person tells you that they can get you a brand in 30 days, 60 days, you guys, please do not get scammed by the scammers out here. A lot of my clients come to me and they have been scammed by agencies, by people from Upwork, by lots of individuals who say they know how to do branding and social media. They have been scammed thousands of dollars. Okay. If someone promised you something that's crazy, like I'm gonna get your brand 1 million views in 30 days, this is too good to be true. This is a scam. Please, you guys, do not be scammed by these social media gurus. Okay. Buying ebooks, 30 days, I'm a million followers, $10 million in 30. These are all scams. So please do not be scammed by people and the bells and whistles. Okay.
That is true. And I will say too, like, don't be discouraged. There was a point in time when I started building my brand on social, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no one's liking me, no one's calling me, I'm being rejected. Like, don't worry about that. It's consistency over doing nothing at all. And not only that, but if you're like, I'm still in the corporate world and I still have a job to do, like Leah said. And one thing, like, I can attest to this as a hiring manager, when people have personal brands on LinkedIn, I'm more keen to interview you, especially from a marketing standpoint when I'm hiring for marketing people. If you have a personal brand and you are a thought leader on LinkedIn, like if you don't want to be a solopreneur, build a brand for your own business, but you want to build a brand for corporate or startups or whatever, I love hiring people that already have a brand because what that tells me is that you are ingrained in the industry, you're ingrained in marketing, you are researching, you are using AI to look up trends. Most of the time, that's going to get you higher up in the queue for interviewing for me. So just a little tidbit of a hiring manager.
Thank you for that, Jim. I think we have some ladies that took those notes right there as well.
Yes. I know we have we have 2 minutes, so maybe we can quickly do one more question and then we can go on.
Okay, one more question. All right, let's see. Do we have any other questions that we may have overlooked? Let's see. I think I saw one from Stevie earlier. So Stevie asked a question, what surprised you most about your journey to where you are today?
Honestly, I would say my resilience, like similar to Ragen, where it's some riffraff. It's a little bit of riffraff. And I just never saw someone who looked like me do what I'm doing. I will be in history books. I'm the first plus size model to do multiple campaigns internationally. I have 3 traditionally published books under my belt and hopefully working on another one, hopefully next year. I've done keynotes. I've been in countries that I'm just like, I never would have thought I would be here. And so the resilience is for me. And so I never cease to amaze myself. And I think a lot of that comes from me being my biggest cheerleader. At some point, I didn't have 10,000 followers. I didn't have 1,000. I didn't have any followers. I was just Leah. I was just baby Leah. And I had to be my own cheerleader. I didn't wait for anybody to give me anything. I was hungry and I was going to get it, whether I knew what that it was or not. So I'm going to say resilience is what really surprised me. And the people around me remind me every day when I forget I am that girl. And so that's what I was
You
saying.
are.
You gotta hype yourself up. That's right.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
think I think that is the key ingredient to any recipe, right? It's not that external validation. You have to believe it within yourself. It's that internal validation. And so we see that with Leah. She's amazing. We love your authenticity. Thank you for spending an hour with us today. I'm sure we'll be doing more things soon. Everyone will share out the recording. We are giving out a tuition reduction award in the name of Leah V.
Fully Moisturized.
Yes, the Fully Moisturized Tuition Award for you to go back to school to upskill in AI. Leah, it's in her name. So excited we'll be picking out the winner for this. And if you found value in this, please share it with your community, right? Let's spread the word of this authenticity, and in this crazy robotic era that we're in, there's still humans behind the screen. And so we really appreciate Leah, Daria, and all of you for joining us today, and we'll talk soon.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye,
Thank you for
everyone.
coming.